It's the Real News Network. I'm Sharmini Pires coming to you from Baltimore. The government of Israel recently announced that the evacuated population of the Bedouin town of al-Hiran will be displaced to a temporary area. They will be forced to remain there for some 15 years while a new living area is found for them. Meanwhile, the town of al-Hiran becomes the construction site for a new settlement town. The first article in the charter of this new town specifies that only observant Jews may apply to buy or rent an apartment there. In January, as protesters tried to prevent the demolition of al-Hiran, Israeli police opened fire and killed a local school teacher, Abu al-Kian, who was attempting to peacefully leave the area. We interviewed here at the Real News Network one of the demonstrators, Kobe Schnitz. Let's have a listen.
This is not the first time that entire villages are demolished in the Negev. Long-standing government policy. The fact that the state is demolishing a Bedouin village to build on top of it settlement for Jews tells us everything we need to know about Israeli policy, the context for this, and very much about Israeli politics in general. And it played out as you would expect from the sort of security forces that does this.
Now joining us to talk about all of this is Haya Noar. She's the executive director of NCF, the Negev Coexistence Forum. Thank you so much for joining us today, Haya.
You're welcome. Good evening.
So, Haya, let's start off by just explaining to people how is it that legally this is possible that the Israeli government could just evacuate a Bedouin population and build a Jewish-only town on top of it. Is that even allowed? This is like the apartheid.
Well, legally, it's, they are covered. The thing is, morally, if they are covered. And it seems that the question is not a legal question, but a moral question, since these people are living there in the village of al-Hiran for 56 years, without any basic services, without electricity, without running water, and so forth. And now, when the state decides to establish a new village there or a new town, they actually designated it for Jews mainly. Now, the option was to plan part of this new village of Hiran as a neighborhood for the Bedouin people that are living there for so many years. But the state preferred, meanwhile, to leave it this way and to plan temporary housing for the Bedouins in the new town or township of Hura, which is located about 8 kilometers south of al-Hiran.
So tell us a little bit about your own organization, the Negev Coexistence Forum. Have the joint efforts on your part of Jewish community and the Bedouins living there been able to be effective?
Well, NCF is a Jewish Arab organization, and we're working here in the last 20 years trying to build a shared community, of Jews and Arabs, and to spread around the civil equality. It's going very difficult, especially in the last couple of years, since, all sociology of Israel is changing, and such operations are really difficult, but still we're doing it. We have volunteers that are coming with us to this adventure, and students and so forth. And we are working with the Jewish community, but also with the communities abroad by raising awareness to what is going on in the Negev, since, 34% of the population of the Negev are Arab Bedouins. So it's time to do some justice to this community. And this is what we are trying to do, to bring the state to recognize these villages, which are about 35 villages that are unrecognized by the state, and so they are actually, the state sees them as illegal, and they have no basic services. Very small part of the villages do have education systems and some clinics, about 4 clinics, but generally speaking, those villages are living without basic amenities and really with a lot of infringements of human rights, house demolitions and so forth. And we are trying actually to raise the awareness that those are citizens of Israel and we should really treat them otherwise.
Right. Now, there's been a critique. Some people say that the word coexistence is actually means to repress Bedouins and Palestinians, to pressure them into accepting the conditions imposed by the Israeli government. Is this correct? And what's your response to that?
Well, you know, the name was picked up 20 years ago, so it's an old name. I would challenge those people that are criticizing just to come down and see the work that we are doing and judge us according to the work that we are doing and not according to, you know, the name that was picked up 20 years ago. We are really working hand in hand with really unempowered communities or weakened communities. We are working, you know, with al-Rakib, that a village that was demolished again and again and again, more than 100 times. And we are working now with al-Hiran. And we used to work with another village that was demolished and now it's turned into a forest. So, you know, you have to judge, if you want to judge us, you have to judge us according to what we are doing, according to the reports that we are doing, according the, you know, I was arrested twice. So, you know, it's I'm devoting much of my time and efforts to try and make a change here. So I wouldn't judge us according to the name.
Yeah, I suppose those who, you know, critique you, who are trying to assist in the situation, is really responding to the brutality of the Israeli police in al-Hiran, the killing of Kwa Babu El-Kian, who worked with the Bedouins, you know, who was a teacher. I guess, you know, it's a difficult situation. But you were saying, you know, people should come and see what you're doing. We're not actually able to do that. So can you describe to us the kind of work you're doing?
So we have more than 1,000 people that are coming every year to with the tours, the very critical tours that we are giving, also to diplomats and to activists that are coming from abroad, but also to students and youth from Israel, which is quite a large amount of people. We are writing a very critical report about what is happening here, either about demolition. We have a monitoring report. Every year we are issuing the report. By the way, in 2016, more than 1,150 structures were demolished. It's a huge number. It's a huge number. Thousands of people are losing their houses each year, and this is something that is we are focused on. But also some other reports. We have a very good website, which probably is the only place you can see the villages. If you are going into the website, you can read about the villages, and you actually can have the feeling of what is happening on the ground. We have many projects in the unrecognized villages of documentation, like we are giving stills cameras to women in the villages, and they are documenting their own life. And these pictures we are using for lobbying. In a way, the women are coming also to be part of this conflict between the state and the Bedouin, which mostly is done by men. And this way, women are participating, also children, which we have projects with them in the different villages. We give them cameras and they are documenting their lives. We have also a video project where women and men are documenting lives through video, They're documenting house demolitions, police police aggression, we can say, in the villages, and many other things that they are documenting, and they are, in this way we are able to bring the people to the front, and so they are lobbying for their lives there. And we have a cultural center in Beersheba, a Jewish Arab cultural center, which is working in the last 10 years. So we really have many projects that we're doing on the ground.
Haya, can you also tell us something about the recent court decision regarding another Bedouin community in Negev, the al-Hiran, I think, village, which was demolished over 100 times, forcing the residents to pay for the cost of their demolishing their own village. Just tell us a little bit about that. What's the status of it now?
Well, they were charged of 1.8 million shekels, which would be more than $400,000, $450,000, for the 8 demolitions, the first 8 demolitions that occurred between the end of July 2010 and the end of December 2010. And the police calculated how much it cost to operate all this operation, and they came out with a figure 1.8 million shekels, and they charged in 2011 the resident, 34 people from the village, with this sum of money, with this huge sum of money. And during the hearings, part of the people compromised and got some fines and paid something, and now the judge decided to charge 250,000 shekels from all the 6 residents that are now on this petition, and to fine them with expenses of 100,000 shekels. It was last week, and the people from al-Hiran are quite exhausted, because they have many legal procedures from all directions, and they're paying to lawyers and to need the expert opinion in their land trial, which hardly started. So it's a heavy fine. It's a heavy fine. It's very weird petition from the state, because the police do have a budget. We are paying part of our taxes for this police to be able to enforce the law, of course. And so it's very weird that they are charging people now with the expenses of the 8 demolitions. But we know that in the last couple of years, it's a precedent that they are trying to build in a way. So in every demolition now, even before demolition, the police is coming and threatening people with fines. So, and they are saying, if you will not demolish, we will demolish, but it will cost you more money. So it's really a really problematic issue, because today more than 60% of the people are demolishing the houses by themselves. Which is
all right. Hi, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us this little snippet into the lives of the Bedouins there and the struggles underway. And I thank you so much for joining us today.
You are welcome. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us here on the Real News Network.